News from Hawkeye Women's Hoops. Caitlin Clark and the Iowa women will be hosting a scrimmage in Kinnick Stadium. Yes, the first ever Hawkeye women's basketball game in the football stadium coming this fall in October in a preseason scrimmage. Interesting concept. Obviously, Iowa trying to take advantage of the hype around this program. Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes soaring high after their trip to the national championship game. We'll talk about that. I'll kind of give my thoughts and review the news from the university earlier today. But first, want to thank Iowa Floor Covering and their Tough Core Click Together 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring. It is available at a great self-installation rate, $269 per foot. If you install it yourself, again, this is Iowa Floor Covering, their headquarters right down in the heart of central Iowa, down in Bondurant. Check out their work. Visit iowafloorcovering.com/DIY for this great deal on this waterproof click-together flooring. Plus, Under the Kitchen, thank you to Randy Engel. He will be down at Fry Fest on September 1st. Great artwork from a longtime partner from the Hawkeye of the Storm, Randy Engel and Under the Kitchen. Again, check him out at Fry Fest and check out his products. Visit him on Facebook. They've also got a new website up and running. Again, Under the Kitchen. We appreciate Randy Engel and company. So the news on this Thursday, the Hawkeye women will be playing a crossover at Kinnick style of event. Yes, that's the branding from the Iowa Athletic Department. A release dropping earlier today announcing this preseason scrimmage, and it's going to be a rather interesting event and very dependent on good weather. We'll talk about why. Let's go over the official release from the University of Iowa first. As you can see here, for the first time in program history, the University of Iowa women's basketball team will host an outdoor scrimmage at Kinnick Stadium. The Hawkeyes will face DePaul out of the Big East in crossover at Kinnick on Sunday, October 15th at 3 p.m. The contest will broadcast on Big Ten Plus and the Hawkeye Radio Network. Proceeds of the event will benefit the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. Now, Lisa Bluter made a comment on the announcement of the event. I am thankful that our administration has the same vision as we do for our program and are willing to take on this amazing opportunity for our team to be showcased. Our team is excited to be able to attempt to break the all-time attendance record for women's basketball, 29,619. I know if anyone can do it, Hawkeye fans can and will. So a couple notes before we talk about tickets and the arrangement outdoors in Kinnick. So obviously Kinnick holds, 65,000, 70,000, somewhere in that range. I think closer maybe to 68,000 after the renovations to the north end zone. Obviously, if weather becomes an issue, you wonder what's going to happen. So they did explain the situation if weather becomes an issue in mid-October, which if you judge based on typical Iowa October, heck, you could have snow, you could have rain, you could have ice, all kinds of different things could happen. So here is the arrangement. They're selling $20 rain or shine reserve seat tickets at Kinnick with an option of Carver Hawkeye Arena if there was bad weather and the game was forced indoors. So it sounds like they're going to be selling approximately 15,600 seats, which would be enough to pack Carver, would be my guess. Of course, if rain forced the game inside. So it's not a perfect situation because they're not able to sell $20 tickets to everybody in Kinnick. However, what they're doing is they're also selling general admission tickets, $10 for adults, $5 for students and youth as Kinnick-only tickets. Now, here's the problem with that, folks. And I say problem, it's just the reality of the situation. They're laying all this out for everybody. But the problem is if inclement weather forces the game inside, basically those people are out of tickets. The release noted that if the crossover at Kinnick event is moved to Carver due to bad weather, Iowa Athletics will accommodate only those who purchased a $20 rain or shine event ticket. Tickets for Carver Hawkeye Arena will be general admission. Tickets are non-refundable as the proceeds of the event will benefit the Stead Family Children's Hospital, which, by the way, great cause there, great initiative to get this event going. Those who purchase a Kinnick-only ticket will receive a commemorative digital souvenir in the event of inclement weather. I kind of giggle at that because a digital souvenir. So I don't know exactly what that means. But it is funny, a lot of, and not all of the fan base, but a lot of the Iowa women's basketball fan base is of the older generation. And that's great. Like, The younger generation, I think, has began to pick up Iowa women's hoops, but the longtime supporters are maybe of the older generation. I don't mean to stigmatize the older generation, but what do they care about a digital souvenir? Maybe they do. I don't know. The Iowa women's basketball team is coming off a historic season in which it won a school record 31 games, finished runners-up nationally, and was second in the country in attendance. Of course, Caitlin Clark returns as well, and the Hawkeyes are getting a number of supporting cast back around Caitlin Clark, including super senior Gabby Marshall. What I did find interesting about this is the fact that Lisa Bluter commented on attendance, and I didn't have a chance. I was actually over in the Iowa City area today. We'll be back there tomorrow for Iowa Football Media Day, so I didn't get a chance to really review this in depth and kind of the extra supplementary articles written by some of the Iowa media. I know Tom Caker and our friends over at On3 wrote up some stuff on this news. But I thought it was interesting that Lisa Bluter commented on Iowa potentially breaking the women's basketball attendance record. I'm just surprised at that comment simply because I'm surprised that a scrimmage could count for the official record, if that makes sense. I don't know when that 29,619 person record was set. Maybe it was a different scrimmage that I'm not aware of. I would just think an unofficial scrimmage. This does not count toward the season. You wouldn't think that would count towards the official attendance record total. But with all that being said, I have no doubt that fans will pack that stadium. Do I think it'll be sold out? Absolutely not. It's not going to be packed. They're not going to get 70,000 people in that stadium. Obviously, you hope it's good weather, and I hope for the sake of everybody that buys those $10 tickets that it is. But here's the positive. If you can't make it due to bad weather, or they push the game into Carver, which basically means you're out, you get this digital souvenir, the proceeds will go to Stead Family Children's Hospital. So that is the positive. I give Iowa credit for organizing it the way they did. It's hard to imagine a better scenario or a more feasible scenario when you're trying to organize something like this, unless they could have done it a lot earlier in the year, like in even September. But even in September, you could have rain or you could have extreme weather. It will be interesting to see what the wind situation is like in Kinnick, assuming they play if it's dry but windy. You just wonder what that would be, how that will affect the game. Kudos to Iowa for getting a major conference team in DePaul out of the Big East to come to Iowa City. I don't know what this arrangement's like financially for these two squads. I doubt DePaul is coming here on their own dime. I guess they could be. But credit to Iowa for taking advantage of the situation and the hype around this program. And Caitlin Clark, she's able to profit off her NIL, but the program is profiting off the Caitlin Clark era as well, and give credit to the supporting cast around her. So this is an interesting storyline. I know it got a lot of attention earlier today. Fans are excited, and I hope it goes off without a hitch. I will say the real big disappointing thing is that it's on BTN Plus. You know, I understand they're trying to raise funds for Stead Family Children's Hospital. They put the game on TV. Maybe that discourages people from coming. But at a minimum, to me, if you're going to put it on anything, just put it on Big Ten Network, or make an arrangement so that people can pay a one-time fee. Maybe it's for BTN Plus for 1 month, but make those proceeds go to the Children's Hospital as well. Why couldn't you do that somehow? Or stream it on the Iowa YouTube channel, right? And somehow make that a subscription-only type deal. Where there's a will, there's a way. That'd be the only thing I think is a little bit frustrating. They're going to have it on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Why does BTN need to profit off this? I don't quite understand that. And maybe I'm not quite understanding the release. It did say proceeds of the event will benefit the Children's Hospital. But again, I can't imagine that includes BTN Plus proceeds. But that's the latest from Iowa Women's Hoops. It'll be a fun day, October 15th, 3 p.m., presumably in Kinnick. But at the least, you'll get an early preseason contest. And who cares if it doesn't count toward the schedule? Does anybody really care? Like, this women's team right now is such a followed squad, and for a variety of reasons. Yes, part of that is their success on the court during the season, but them playing a preseason game, the fact that they get a game against a major conference team in DePaul, I don't really think it matters if it's part of the regular season, and there's really no way you could possibly schedule a game as part of the regular season in November outside. The fact they're doing it in mid-October is impressive to me. So kudos to Iowa, whether you give Gary Barta some credit on this, Beth Getz. Obviously, there's a lot of administration involved here, moving parts. kudos to whoever got this going. Should be a fun day. Iowa Football Media Day, Friday. We'll be there. Iowa Kids Day open scrimmage Saturday. We'll be there as well. Live stream Saturday. I'll have coverage for you after Media Day tomorrow. Lots in the hopper, videos over the coming couple of weeks as we count down the days to football at Kinnick Stadium on September 2nd. We'll talk to you next time.